Okay, so today we're going to talk about solving systems of two linear equations with two variables for mathematical and real-world problems. And we're going to focus on the method of substitution. So how can I recognize when to use substitution to get my solution, my two answers in my ordered pair? So if they give you two equations, all you have to do is look. One of your equations either will already be set up in this format or can be arranged into x equals or y equals format. And you're going to be able to get it into that format by making one move. If you have to move something and then divide, that is taking too much time, and you want to see if you can find another method that's faster to get you to your answers. Okay? You may also see that both equations are set to the same variable. So maybe you have a system where both equations are y equals, or a system where both equations are x equals. Now keep in mind, the variable that is by itself, that is what you're looking for. It does not have to be an x or a y variable because your system may be using different variables based on the problem situation. Okay, what if you're given a word problem? Because sometimes you're not going to be given the two equations for the system. You are going to have to write that yourself. So what you're going to be looking for is one sentence of your system, one of those equations is going to translate into x equals or y equals format. So you're going to notice that one of your variables is alone either before the equals or after the equals. You're going to notice that one of your variables is by itself. You can also look for words that turn into equals. And remember, your equal sign words is, was, any words that are telling you you have a total, because then you know that the total is going to go after the equal sign. All right, so let's look at some examples. So here I have y equals 2 times the value of x. And then my other equation in the system is 3 times the value of x plus the value of y is equal to 10. So because I have this y equals, this y is by itself. There is only one of them. This means that y is going to get replaced in the other equation. And what am I going to replace y with? Well, that's where I have to look at what it's equal to. It is equal to 2x. So that is what I am going to replace y with. Now remember, we're used to replacing our variables with just a number, but now we're going to be replacing it with maybe another number and a variable or a combination of those things. So it's not just a number now that's going to go in the parentheses. So let me show you what it looks like when I replace y with 2x. So I'm going to write 3x plus, instead of y, there's going to be the empty parentheses just like before because I don't want y to be there. It's going to be replaced, equals 10. So now I have to think, what is going to fill in that parentheses? Well, whatever was equal to y. And what was equal to y? 2x. So this, by writing the 2x in parentheses, this is telling me that this 2x wasn't in my equation to begin with. I have replaced something with 2x. And what did we replace? Y. Now I'm going to use my solving equation skills to figure out the value of x, because now I have an equation where there is one variable, and that variable is x. Okay, the same single variable all the way through. Okay, I do not have two different variables anymore. Okay, so I've got to distribute. And I notice that there's not a number here to multiply by, but there really is. It's an invisible 1. So 1 times 2x is just going to give me 2x. So I have 3x plus 2x for a total of 5x is equal to 10. I don't have any like terms. I don't need to move anything. So now I'm going to divide by 5 to figure out the value of x, and that value is 2. Okay, now that I have an answer for 2, I need to find my answer for x, because remember, our solution for a system, we're trying to find that point that my lines cross at. What is that ordered pair? And in that ordered pair, I have two answers. I have an answer for x, 2, and now I have to find the answer for y to complete my solution. So how am I going to get that answer for y? I'm going to take this answer for x, and I'm going to plug it in to help me find the answer for y. So now I just got to make a choice. Which equation is going to help me get to the answer for y? And it's going to be the first equation, y equals 2 times the value of x. Y equals 2, and instead of x, I'm going to replace it with its value, which is 2, because now I have an answer. Okay? I'm going to use the answer for x to get my answer for y. So now I just have to do the math. Y is equal to 2 times the value of 2, which is 4. So my y answer is 4. Now I know it's going to go in my ordered pair. My lines are going to intersect at the point 2, 4. Now, I've done a lot of math, and there's a lot of opportunity for me to make a mistake. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to check and verify my solution, and we check it by plugging our answers in our ordered pair back into the system. So I'm going to say y is equal to 2 times x. So now I'm going to plug in. Here is where my answer for y goes. Here is where my answer for x goes. And now I'm going to do the math. So there's no math here, so it's going to be 4 equals 2 times 2 is 4, and that is a true statement. So remember, in order for my solution to be correct, my two answers to be right, I have to have 2 true statements. So now I need to plug in my answers to the other equation. So I'm going to say 3. Instead of x, I'm going to leave room for its answer, plus y. So I got to leave room for its answer equals 10. And now I just need to plug in my 2 answers. So my answer for x is 2, and my answer for y is 4. And now I need to do some math on both sides of the equal. So I'm going to find this sum. So I've got to multiply first. So that's 6. And then I'm going to add 4 to that for a total of 10. So my sum is 10. And that is equal to the value of 10. So I got another true answer. So since I have 2 true statements, I know that my answers, 2 and 4 in the ordered pair, are correct, and all of my math work has been done properly. All right, let's look at the next example. I have x is equal to a -3. So now that I notice I have an x by itself, this is telling me that I am now going to replace x. What am I going to replace x with? X is going to get replaced by 3y because that's what is equal to x. So again, you look at for the variable that is by itself. Sometimes you have to do some rearranging to get there, but then you know what letter, what variable is going to be replaced, and you are going to replace it with whatever it is equal to. So now I'm going to show that 15, I'm going to replace x, and then I'm going to have minus 2y equals 94. Okay, what am I going to replace x with? This time I'm replacing it with a -3y. Again, having parentheses tells me that whatever is inside wasn't there to begin with. I replaced something with -3y. And what did we replace? X. Now let's do our math so that we can solve our equation. So I need to multiply. So 15 times -3y is going to give me -45y. I'm still subtracting 2y, and that is going to be equal to the value of 94. Okay, I can combine like terms. So I have a -45, and this tells me that is the operation of subtraction. And how much are we subtracting? 2. So that's going to tell me that I have a total of a -47y is equal to 94. And now to solve for y, I simply will divide by -47. And that is going to give me a value of y equal to, let's see what, 94 divided by -47 is going to be equal to a -2. So I wanted to double check my mental math. And now that I have my solution for y, it's going to go in an ordered pair. So remember, I have 2 answers in this ordered pair, and I've already found one of my answers. It was the y answer. So I know that my ordered pair is going to be some number comma -2. I just got to figure out what this number is that goes here. And I'm going to use my answer of -2 to figure that out. So I'm going to plug that answer back in for y, and then that's going to help me figure out x. So I'm going to have x equals -3 times y. And since I have an answer, I want to put parentheses because I'm going to replace y now with its answer, and its answer is -2. And now I'm going to do some math. X is equal to the product of -3 and -2, which is 6. So my answer for X is 6. Again, I have done a lot of math, and there's a lot of opportunity for me to make a mistake, so I want to check my work. So I'm going to plug my answers back into my system. So I've got X equals -3y, and I want to plug in my answers. So I'm going to say 6 is equal to, I'm going to plug in my -2 where y was supposed to be, and now I'm going to do math. So I've got 6 equals, the product of -3 and -2 is 6. So this is a true statement. And I need 2 of them, so I know I've got to plug in again. So I'm going to plug in my second equation in the system. So I'm going to say 15 times the value of x minus 2 times the value of y is equal to 94. And now I'm going to plug in my 2 answers. So 6 goes here where x used to be, and I'm going to plug in a -2 where y used to be. And now I'm going to do the math. So I'm going to get my calculator, and I'm going to type all of this in at one time. So I'm going to say 15 times 6 minus 2 times a -2 is equal to 94. So I have 94 is equal to 94, and those are the same, equal values, so I know that this statement is true. And now I have proven that my 2 answers, 6 and -2, in my ordered pair are correct, and I know that all of my math work has been done properly.